Aloha aina, and welcome to Voices of Truth, one-on-one with Hawaii's future. Brought to you by the Koani Foundation. I'm Ehukekahu Cardwell, and here we are today in beautiful Palolo Valley. And boy, do we have a treat in store for you today. With us, we have none other than Manu Meyer. Manu, aloha, welcome to the show. So good to have you with us.
Mahalo for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Wonderful. So I know you have certain things you're just burning to talk about today. So without further ado, let's get right into it. And the first thing we want to talk about is something called Hawaiian epistemology, right?
Good. It's epistemology. Let's practice saying it, everybody, okay? Epistemology, all right? Can we say it together? Epistemology. It's got the word piss in it, so you'll remember it. It's a really important word for our people.
Why? What does the word mean? And what application does it have to the culture, people?
Epistemology is the philosophy of knowledge. It asks the question, what is intelligence? What is knowledge? Is there a difference between knowledge and knowing? And our response is, of course. There is such a difference in the idea of what is intelligent in our society of old that we have to ask the question today because society is completely dumbed down. We believe that exclusion, property, ownership, accumulation of goods is a higher state of being. Nothing could be further from the truth in relationship to indigeneity and the truth of what will sustain itself over time. So when you ask the word, what is intelligence? When I listened to my kupuna and friends and family answer the question, it was unbelievable. Categories, 7 categories came out of the research. And they're not in order of importance. They just came in dreams, they came in our literature, they came from our kupuna, they came from listening to friends and family. One of the main ones is that which feeds, aina.
Aina, yes. Yes.
It is all about land. Our ability to sustain ourselves on land, with land, around land is the point nowadays. We have to stop talking about land as property and real estate. That denotes a type of relationship to that piece, to that land base, to that capacity for us to have a relationship with it. That's an intelligent idea that our people understood. Papa was not a metaphor for our mother. She was our mother. She is our mother. We must nurture and revive her. And so that's one of the concepts of an epistemology. We valued relationship with land. We don't do this in today's DOE schools and even private schools. We treat land as a commodity, as a thing to own, to change, to alter. So we're very far from that basic epistemological truth as Hawaiians. So that's a huge idea.
So, Manu, what I hear you saying is that all this time we've been living under what may really be called a lie or a misconception, that it's kind of like an us versus them. Land is a thing you can own. Accumulation of things is what we're all about and what we should all strive for. And to us that are living in that, it's kind of like water to a goldfish. It's invisible because it's in it.
Well then,
and yet what you're saying is there's a whole other reality. Yes?
Absolutely. I wouldn't call what we're living a lie. That would assume consciousness.
Okay.
I would call it
being too good, is what you're saying.
Yeah, no, we're basically in this because we're taught to be in this.
Yes.
We're not seeing it, and what epistemology has taught me is to see it differently, and therefore the speaking of truth is fundamental.
Yeah. So how has that changed you as a Kanaka, as a Kanaka Maoli, as a person? How has it changed you?
Well, I've been stupid my whole life. I've been called stupid. You know what I mean? I've been an athlete and a jock and a coach. My avenue of excellence has been through the body, has been through movement.
But how is that stupid?
No, you're kidding, jocks. We're and
it's not stupid.
I was not accurate and appropriate in schools. It's schools inside a classroom is very challenging. So when you know you're not of that level, then you begin to disassociate yourself with that type of expectation. And many people call it resistance theory nowadays. A lot of our really smart kids are resisting because schools are killing us. You know, the ability to express ourselves creatively is not present in our current schools. And every teacher knows, and I know you know this, all you teachers, because I am a professor of teacher education. Every teacher that I have had familiarity with in the last 5 years tells me that the No Child Left Behind law is killing us. And we know that to be true. So I will debate that in any forum with enough ammunition. And because No Child Left Behind is about a monoculturalization, assimilation, standardization process.
Fitting everybody into one box.
And that's the unconsciousness of this society.
Yeah.
That standardization, homogenization is a higher form of being, when we know as Native peoples that what is specific to place is of that place and should be nurtured. And what is specific to Ka'u, us Hilo guys no do. You know what I mean? And if Honolulu goes over to Hilo, and you know, there's hooky in that way.
Yeah.
We have to honor the specificity of place. And because Americanized thought processes are young, they cannot see their own troubles. We can. Our job now is to articulate it at a higher frequency so that we're more effective.
Okay, Manu. So for some students may be watching the show right now who are saying, wait a minute, some of the stuff she said, I heard her say just now, really strikes true for me, because I'm one of those people that really has had trouble fitting in.
That's right.
Maybe I've gotten in trouble in the class.
That's right.
They've said I'm not behaving, I'm not
That's right.
modeling myself after their way they want me to model. What's your message to them, to those kids right now, listening and saying, boy, that's me, she's talking about me?
Don't be a jerk. Be excellent. Our people were all about excellence. You know, acting up because there's, you know, for no reason. You got to have a really clear reason, because excellence, we valued excellence as Hawaiians. We want the ability to be, you know, excellent at our craft, at our thoughts. So when schools harness that to a negative degree, resist purposefully. Resist with a group of people and start a club on farming. Resist purposely, you know, join the surfing club that, you know, of course we got surfing now, of course we should. But resist purposely so that the talents that you have can be planted somewhere. We don't just want to resist, we want to thrive. And that's my message to young students and old students. We don't just want to resist as we develop a consciousness of our own intelligence. We want to thrive. So faculty are not, they don't wake up and say, how am I going to smash your self-esteem? How am I going to smash your ability to be intelligent? This society, America, does not know any better. That's the point. 220-something years old, they're young. We are thousands of years old in the Pacific. We have a capacity. We need to start teaching appropriately some of the basic epistemological foundational ideas that indigenous people have known for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. It's time now to articulate what they are.
Good. So if I hear you right, and correct me if I'm wrong, another way a person could say Hawaiian epistemology would be an example of that thing that they've been taught and that they've known and has rung true for them their whole lives in a cultural way, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and you know what? There has been poor teachings also.
Yeah.
You can't just say everything we learned is... Teachings will survive over time. Malama Aina, Aloha Aina is one of them.
Yeah.
If you were taught Malama Aina, then you're gonna look at how the school is kept, and you're not gonna throw trash, and you're not gonna throw cigarette butts. I mean, those are manini kind stuff, but it's a consciousness of relationship with Aina. Not just it's an entity to learn about, but it's an energy to learn from.
Through the connection.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So for our students watching the show today, you know, if you're sitting there saying, well, yeah, I don't fit in, she's talking about me, what I hear you saying is, yeah, go ahead and resist, but by the same token, take those talents that you know you have and find a way to put them to use.
That's right.
In the community somehow.
Completely.
Either by yourself or ideally with others.
Completely.
So that while you're resisting at the same time, the other side of the coin is, take what you do have and what you do know and put it to use.
We know that makes a difference, because one of the main tenets of Hawaiian epistemology is that aloha is our intelligence.
Yes.
Olana A'i, Kumu Hula Olana A'i said, aloha is the intelligence with which we meet life.
Say that one more time.
Really, it's a beautiful saying. Kumu Hula Olana Kaipo A'i said this. And mahalo, Auntie, for allowing us to use this. She said, aloha is the intelligence with which we meet life.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That's powerful.
Isn't that one sentence says it all.
Yes.
Aloha makes me smart. Aloha makes me intelligent. So therefore, I will know how to respond to people. I will know how to nurture people. I will know how to take care of land because I get aloha.
And if you have aloha, you are those things.
Right. It's that cause and effect that doesn't happen in sequence. It happens simultaneously. Mm-hmm. That's the post-quantum physics thing that I've also want to jump into. But
go right ahead. Folks, buckle your seatbelts.
Yeah, I know. I was in Aotearoa this past year,
yes, I know.
New Zealand, for a 1-year sabbatical, and it was really fabulous. I got to just basically defend my solitude. See, bells, that's another thing.
Yep.
See, I can go off on bells. Let's not start. But what I got to do in New Zealand for the last year is hang out with Maori and read certain books on post-quantum physics. Mm. And what that means is what's happening in science because of the needs of the world. Science is hitting their
ceiling. Huh?
Their ceiling.
Yeah. Because
we're running out of resources. We've got to develop a better relationship with what knowledge is. Because you can't just keep taking from the world and expect nothing to, expect the same behavior. It's inappropriate. It's wrong. So science is seeing different ways of relating to the world, and it's kind of hard to explain. Maybe we'll have to come back in another day. But in a summary, what post-quantum realities, they are a nice introduction to what indigenous people have known all along. What our kupuna have known all along is now being verified by science. Not that we need it verified, but society's now paying attention to indigenous thought processes because we have known how to take care of lands and skies and waters. And no matter what people say as far as the degradation of certain periods of time, it's consistent.
So this is very interesting because for a guy like me, when I hear this, I think, wow, this is really a unique combination because when I think of quantum physics, I think of those guys in NASA who send, rockets into outer space. Right. And that's a very, highfalutin type of math that I can't even conceive of.
That's right.
But then I hear when I say that, they're now discovering, those same guys who use quantum physics, they're discovering that, wait a minute, the cultures, the indigenous cultures of the planet actually have that knowledge. They've had it for thousands of years, and we're now seeing that. That's like, wow, that's really something.
It really is a doorway. They're discovering what ho'upu'upu is about, the ability that intentionality shapes our world, that thoughts actually create the reality that we are in. We knew that. We know that. The fact that we don't practice that is because we've been trained wrong. We do know, in our deepest sense, that my thoughts create my reality. Now, how I live that thought, that's the challenge for today's life.
You.
It is. And everything's a thought pattern.
Yeah.
And everything. And our kupuna said it the same way. Ika ola olelo, ika olelo ola, ika olelo make.
Yes.
In our voice is life, in our voice is death.
Yeah.
And I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that.
Yeah. So Manu, we were talking before the show when you're having a bite to eat, and you talked about you learned 40 things in the year you were down in Aotearoa. 40 things from the Maori, and we don't have time to cover all 40 today, but you said you would share a few of them with us. Would you do that? Tell us some of the things that you learned in that year spending time with the Maori that really stuck with you.
Great. One of the main things that I learned is that they really respect place specific to that place. They have over 2,000 marais, which are gathering houses, and one marae would not dare tell another marae how to do their protocols.
Why?
Because they respect each other.
Uh-huh.
And so that respect is ritualized in protocols and thoughts, patterns. And we don't do that in Hawaii. we just assume we do Honolulu policies and Hilo's got to bow. Hilo does policies to Kauai that just broke Kauai's back with the Niihau community. We do not do that well. We don't respect each other's capacity to help themselves, govern themselves, teach themselves. We just believe that, one size should fit all. And that is not an appropriate process for today's diversity.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing you saying is that each place, the thing that you learn from Maori about place, it's actually a little broader than that. Not only the protocols, but the ways, maybe even the technology that they use is maybe best for this place here, but not best for this place over here.
We knew that in our ancient spaces.
Yeah.
We knew that, respected, we buried our kin in different ways in Kohala versus Ka'u. It was distinct based on place. That makes sense to me.
Yes.
And we need to respect that, because when you have edicts and policies come down on you from another place, you're not inspired. It really is about what is our definition of sovereignty, deep definition, and that is the nation deep within. How do I respond to freedom of thought, freedom of capacity? And it doesn't happen if I'm told what to do. It doesn't.
So it can never be top down.
On occasion, these are, the site-specific things. If they decide that they're going to use that as a model, that's their decision. Yeah. I can never say one thing or another. It's got to be, they're going to have to decide. Yeah. That's another thing. They have huis.
Yeah.
Huis are abilities to meet. We have the same word. Robert's Rules of Order dictates how we talk to each other in serious Hawaiian gatherings. Nothing could be more useless than Robert's Rules of Order. And I mean it, because it's not organic, it's not real for me, and for us, those who know the rules run the meeting, it's not appropriate. Mm-hmm. We need to develop a different style of how to meet with each other. And I mean it. We don't know how to really meet with each other in an open, he alo kind, deep aloha kind sense. We have to learn that with each other. And that's what I learned in Aotearoa. They hui. And the thing with huis go for days. Us, we can barely make a 2-hour meeting, and then we all leave early. But it's when you do a noho marae, you're there to work things out. And I'm telling you, those guys work things out. They're intense.
Wow.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Wow.
Our Maori cousins.
Wow, that's incredible. So give us another one. What's something else you learned down there that really impressed you?
I learned the difference between oracy and literacy. In the Pai Pai, the Maori stand and orate in Tareo Maori, in their language. And although I didn't understand it fully, it was filled with metaphor, it was filled with poetry, it was filled with historic accuracy, it was filled with genealogy. It was something stunning. The vibration of truth in oracy is a real and tangible idea and practice. Literacy is something else.
Yeah.
It's a necessary exchange of knowledge, but it does not have that rigor and vibrancy of what oracy means to indigenous people.
Well, so there's a difference that in speaking and writing, and there's a power in speaking that is unique to speaking. Yes.
Yes.
And so, when I hear you say that, I think back to, ancient times in Hawaii where that's the way it was here.
Yes. I come from a genealogy of Ho'opapa people. We debated and riddled and used nane to our deaths. And women were often the teachers. We had to have deep relationship with the land, winds, ocean currents, etc. It was a way of understanding the world and then discussing it in metaphoric term.
Yeah.
You see it in our nanis, in our olelo noeaus. They're everywhere.
Yes.
And so oracy must return to our people. It's never lost. We have brilliant orators. The question now is, what are we saying? What is the quality of our message? Details. Back at you at 6, you know what I mean? That's the point. We have orators. Now we just have to encourage them to be who they have always been and not to fear consequences that are negative, because there will always be negative consequences when you speak your truth.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
But there will be more positive.
Yes.
There will always be more positive. We just have to buckle in and share the load and help each other as a negative comes at us, at 280 miles per hour. You know what I mean?
Well, I'll tell you something. I've seen you orate. I've seen you speak. And I'll tell you right now, you're a powerful speaker. And when you speak, I mean, people respond so positively. There's a power. Your mana, your mana'o is incredible when you orate.
I value energy.
Yeah.
I value this time because we are living in mythic times. Mm-hmm. These are mythic times.
Why do you think these are mythic times right now?
Right now, all indicators in all societies, environmental, social, political, all indicators point to we have literally years left. Mm-hmm. And if you do not believe this, go to any city in any part of the world and see what you experience. It will change your life. We do have seconds left, especially about oil and our usage of oil. Hawaii is going to be like Cuba. Cuba was in the late 80s. We're going to have it's going to happen here. It's going to happen here. Cars will be a thing of the past. And I mark my words.
Because the oil will be cut off from Hawaii.
From the world.
From the world,
yeah. And, think they're going to spend oil to get 2,000 miles to give oil? No way. Yeah. View your car as a house plant. In 10 years from now, it's all going to change.
Yeah.
It's all going to change. Every indicator says that.
So, Manu, it sounds to me like what you're saying is it's more imperative now than ever for people to start to find their kuleana, find that peace.
Beautiful.
That they're interested in making better, helping out their specialty, what they're really good at.
Beautiful.
And getting into action with it, yes?
Beautiful. That's another point that I learned. That Maori gathered together to intentionalize their dreams. They brought their willpower together and they intentionalized what they wanted to see. 10 years down the road, they came again and they ticked off the box what it is that they achieved together.
Wow.
And we know this as indigenous people. When you intentionalize an idea, it occurs. It will not occur if we do not vision it.
Yes. Yeah. Good. So for our viewers watching the show today who are saying, well, I'm just little old me. I mean, she's somebody, she's filled with energy, but I'm just little old me. That sounds great, but I don't know if I could do that. What would you say to them?
Oh, this is what I would say to you. Mai maka'u, mai hila hila. There is no time for fear. There's only time for courage. Courage begins consciousness. And we need to be conscious in our society today. We need to find each other at a different level and frequency of truth. We need to heal. We need to love. We need to laugh more. Everybody can make a difference. Every single person. Because everybody has thoughts. That's what I would say.
Great. And so somebody who hears that and says, that sounds great to me, but I only know small things to do. Do they only have to be big things, or can they be small things too?
I believe Gandhi did a total revolution with the one idea that you must be the change you wish to see in the world. He revolutionized 400 years of colonial oppression that the British had in India. They left because he exhibited in his own life what he meant about, decolonizing our minds. Start in your families, start with your own body, make good choices. Watch what you read, watch what you think. It is completely specific to a person. And then, when you get yourself stronger, then you help your family. And you just stay within your family and be pono there. And our nation will raise with pono families. And stay there. And then we party together. You know what I mean?
So it sounds to me like the time for waiting is over.
Oh, God, yes.
It's like if there was a time for waiting, that was in the past.
Yep.
We can no longer afford the luxury of waiting.
No.
Everybody has to get into action. Yep. Find their peace, even if it's the smallest piece, even if it's watching what you eat, watching what you say.
Huge. It's huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Watching what you think.
Huge.
As you walk down the street, picking up litter as you see it.
Yep. Yep.
And then getting into action with other people.
Beautiful.
Maybe with their small ways, everybody comes together with their small piece. All of a sudden, you know what? It's not small anymore.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Manu, tell me something.
Yes.
How do you see the future of Hawaii? What would you like the future to look like? Let's hear your imaging and visioning. I want to hear what's inside of you.
The future for Hawaii is very, very bright. I believe because of the oil shortages that's coming, our lifestyles are going to change. We're going to start to sustain ourselves more creatively with our lands. We're going to heal with each other. We're going to know our neighbors more. We're going to be more creative with how we sustain ourselves beyond tourism, beyond the predictable capitalistic accumulation models. We are going to wake up together. Hawaiians, non-Hawaiians, we are going to wake up together, because you cannot live in such beauty with such nahi-nahi wisdom and not get it. You can't. The geography shapes my knowing. And that's another point, that this land and this place, our beloved Hawaii Nui a Kea, is going to survive, and it's going to thrive because we're still here and we care about this place. And now we just have to care about ourselves as much as what we care about Hawaii.
Oh, that's beautiful. So I heard you say both Hawaiian and non-Hawaiian.
Absolutely.
So that means if you're non-Hawaiian watching the show, you too can get up off of your chair and get into action.
Absolutely.
And it's for everybody, from everybody,
Absolutely.
to everybody,
Absolutely.
and about everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But if Hawaiians, Hawaiians are my people. If we do not support and encourage a Hawaiian movement, then no one thrives.
Well, sure, because the Hawaiian culture must be the underpinning of everything, or here there's nothing.
A Hawaiian culture value, it matters. It matters.
To everybody, both Hawaiian and non-Hawaiian.
It will, it should, and
Yes.
it'll be central again.
Yes.
I believe that.
Yes.
Completely.
That's great. That's great. Well, Manu, thank you so much for being on the show. Didn't I tell you you're in for a treat? Your mana'o, your mana is palpable. You can feel it. You're a phenomenal being. And my request to you is please keep doing what you're doing. It's wonderful.
I can help.
Don't stop. You know, you're one of those people that's going to die in the saddle. I know,
Yeah,
and
with
that's
my boots
great.
on,
That's right.
Completely.
That's right.
Completely.
That's right.
Mahalo ya oi.
Oh, mahalo yoi too.
Mahalo.
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 Thank you for being on the show. We're going to have you back because you have a lot more to share.
Yeah, thank you.
Great. Wonderful. Thanks for being with us. This has been Voices of Truth, one-on-one with Hawaii's Future, brought to you by the Kiwani Foundation. I'm Ehu Kekahu Cardwell, and until next time, ahui ho.